In the heart of a mid-sized city, the community center buzzed with the usual pre-event hum. Rows of metal chairs faced a modest stage, where a banner read, "Community Forum with Senator Elias Rivera." Attendees trickled in, families with kids, retirees clutching newspapers, young professionals scrolling through social media. A couple of news crews adjusted their tripods in the corner, and volunteers handed out agendas. It all seemed routine, the kind of gathering that promised polite discourse, and perhaps a few routine announcements. Rivera arrived punctually, shaking hands and smiling warmly. He was known for his approachable style, a veteran politician who favored listening over lecturing. The forum was meant to cover neighborhood safety, housing affordability, and education, topics that hit close to home. No fireworks expected. But as the clock ticked toward start time, subtle undercurrents stirred. A cluster of people near the side entrance fidgeted more than most, exchanging glances and whispering intently. One held a sign rolled up under their arm. Another checked a phone timer. The air carried a faint edge, like the static before a storm. Rivera stepped to the podium, adjusting the mic with a casual tap. "Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy lives to be here." His voice was even, reassuring. He dove into the agenda, outlining recent initiatives on street lighting and school funding. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. A woman in the front row smiled, jotting notes. For those first minutes, the forum flowed smoothly, like a well-rehearsed routine. Then, the first ripple hit. A voice from the side cut through the air, not during Q&A, but mid-sentence as Rivera discussed housing costs. "What about the evictions happening right now?" The tone was pointed, urgent. Heads turned. Rivera paused, mid-gesture, his expression unchanging. He finished his thought briefly, then acknowledged the speaker with a nod. "That's a valid point. Let's hold that for the discussion portion, but I appreciate you bringing it up." The interrupter, a young man with a backpack, didn't back down. He stood, his voice rising. "We've been waiting for years, promises,
but no action."
Whispers spread. Some audience members frowned, others leaned in curiously. Phones emerged from pockets, lenses pointed forward. The group near the side entrance stirred now, unrolling signs that read, "Housing for all," and "Stop the greed." Another voice joined. "You're part of the problem." The calm forum was fracturing, voices overlapping like echoes in a canyon. Rivera raised a hand gently, not commanding, but inviting quiet. The room didn't hush immediately. Tensions like this don't dissolve on cue, but the gesture brought a beat. "I see your signs, and I hear your frustration," he said, his tone measured, almost conversational. "This forum is exactly the place to air that out." The words landed softly, disarming without dismissing. One protester hesitated, sign lowering slightly. But not all were swayed. A woman from the group stepped forward, her voice sharper. "Words are cheap. What about the families on the street because of your policies?" The accusation hung heavy. Murmurs grew, some supportive of Rivera, others echoing the critique. The news crew zoomed in, sensing a story brewing. Rivera didn't flinch. He stepped slightly to the side of the podium, making eye contact across the room. "You're right. Actions matter more than words. Let me explain what we've done so far." He outlined specifics: a bill he'd co-sponsored for rent stabilization, partnerships with local non-profits for emergency housing. No jargon, just facts delivered plainly. The protesters didn't sit, but their interruptions paused. The room's energy shifted, from chaotic overlap to attentive listening. Yet the undercurrent persisted. Another protester interjected. "That's not enough!" "What about corporate landlords buying up everything?" Voices clashed again, audience members now debating among themselves. A man in the middle row called out, "Let him finish!" The moderator glanced at security, who hovered discreetly. Rivera waited out the noise, his posture relaxed but alert. When a gap opened, he spoke again. "Disagreement is healthy, it's why we're all here." The line was simple, but it reframed the chaos as dialogue. Applause trickled from scattered seats. The woman with the sign crossed her arms, but her expression softened from anger to skepticism. "Prove it," she said. "Less shout than challenge." Rivera nodded. "Fair enough. Let's talk specifics." He invited her to elaborate on her concerns, turning the podium into a shared space. She spoke of rising rents, job losses, families displaced. The room listened now, the earlier clamor giving way to focus. Rivera responded point by point, admitting gaps in current efforts. "We haven't solved it all, and that's on us, including me, to do better." The admission hung in the air, unexpected in its candor. No defensiveness, just accountability. For a moment, the forum breathed easier. Questions from the floor resumed, some critical, others supportive. But tensions simmered. A new voice rose from the back, emotional and raw. My neighbor lost their home last month. How do you sleep at night? The words stung, pulling the room back toward edge. Whispers turned to murmurs. Rivera met the speaker's gaze. I don't take that lightly. Tell me more about what happened. The invitation diffused the heat. The man shared his story, voice cracking slightly. Rivera listened without notes or interruptions, then replied. Stories like that are why I fight for change, but I need your input to make it real. He proposed a follow-up meeting with affected residents, jotting a note publicly. The shift was palpable. Protesters exchanged looks, signs now at their sides. One sat down, then another. The audience's division mended subtly as dialogue replaced discord. Rivera continued, addressing education next. A teacher asked about funding cuts. He detailed advocacy efforts, flaws and all. No sugarcoating. As the hour wound down, a final push came. The original interrupter stood again. Calmer now. Will any of this actually happen? Skepticism lingered, but without the earlier fire. Rivera smiled faintly. Only if we hold each other accountable. He extended an invitation for anyone to join a working group on housing. Applause built, not unanimous, but genuine. The forum wrapped with handshakes and exchanges. Protesters lingered, one approaching Rivera off stage for a quiet word. The exchange was brief, respectful, no conversions, but a bridge built. News crews packed up, murmuring about the masterclass in de-escalation. Outside, under streetlights, attendees chatted reflectively. The night hadn't been scripted, but in its messiness, it revealed resilience. Rivera gathered his materials, glancing back at the emptying room. Forums like this tested more than policies. They tested patience, empathy, the fragile art of turning conflict into connection. And in that, the real work began. Long after the lights dimmed,